It looks like Mother Nature may even have an encore for today as we look for a chance at a few more storms. These will be the locations to watch for this afternoon for that shower and storm development, as the higher terrain is what's going to be a focusing point to get a couple of those storms going. You can see in Cloudcroft over the last 3 hours, we have really been building up the cloud cover, and there's a storm just east of Cloudcroft now starting to get going over the Sacramento Mountains. We'll take a look at the radar in just a second. The metro looking at a few clouds now starting to pop up, but all in all, still a very nice day with temperatures only in the mid 80s, 85 degrees currently with an east wind at 7 miles per hour. Temperatures across the north anywhere from the upper 70s to the low 80s, 82 currently in Santa Fe, 84 in Grants. Down to the south, we're starting to warm things up, but still the heat is not outrageous, especially for this time of the year. We're in the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees, which is a little bit closer to where we should be for this time of the year, especially given the time of day we're at right now at the noon hour. Wind gusts across the eastern part of the state anywhere from 25 to 30 miles per hour, 23 in Clovis and Hobbs. And we're looking at a few occasional gusty locations from anywhere from the metro over toward Grants and down to Silver City. But winds will not be a huge issue statewide, but you may have to deal with a little bit of wind as one of those storms may pop up near your location. You'll get a little bit of that gusty wind coming out of the storm itself. And we do have a couple of those storms now going over the Sacramento Mountains into the northern mountains, trying to get a couple of storms going as well, and even a little bit of light shower activity into west central sections. But we will start to see this activity increase throughout the afternoon, very much like we've seen throughout much of the week. We'll see another good round of showers and storms, and we'll have to watch out for a couple of those showers and storms this afternoon being on the strong to perhaps severe side, especially in the eastern part of the state and down to the south once again. Then into the weekend, things do start to calm down a little bit. We'll still have storm chances, but with high pressure overhead, we'll be mainly confined to the higher terrain, and then perhaps a little bit in areas just around the higher terrain through the weekend. And then into next week, high pressure starts to slide east of the state, and we get into a little bit of a moisture flow once again, and that could fuel at least enough moisture to get a few more showers and storms going into early next week. So we are still into a good pattern. It's not the classic monsoon pattern, or at least it hasn't been much of the week, but it has certainly been helping things with getting some of that much needed rainfall. Southern Colorado into the 80s for this afternoon with partly cloudy skies. We'll continue with that storm chance through the weekend into early next week, with temperatures mainly in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Over the northwest, highs today into the low to mid 90s with a spot storm possible. We'll continue with that spot storm chance through the weekend and into the early next week, but then things do start to dry out into the middle of next week with afternoon highs back into the mid 90s. Over the southwest, partly sunny skies, scattered afternoon showers and storms, especially over the Gila at first and then spreading into other areas throughout the afternoon. We'll continue with that chance through the weekend and into early next week, and then spot storm chances by the middle of next week. Over the southeast, storm chances here for this afternoon. Highs will be starting to warm back up. We're into the mid 90s for Roswell, and we continue to see those mid to upper 90s through the weekend into early next week as storm chances start to decrease into the beginning of next week. Over the northeast, storm chances for today, highs into the upper 80s to low 90s. We continue with storm chances through the weekend into early next week before drying out a bit into the middle of next week. Over the northern mountains, storm chances for this afternoon, highs into the 70s and 80s, mid 80s in Santa Fe through the weekend with storm chances, and then only spot storm chances for the middle of next week. Over the east mountains, partly cloudy with afternoon showers and storms, highs into the low 90s, and the metro will top out in the low 90s. Also for this afternoon, could see a storm passing through the metro like we've seen over the past couple of days. We'll keep that chance for Saturday, and then starting to dry out into the beginning of next week.
All right, back to the 90s.
Yes.
Thank you, John.